And we are live. Hey, what is up, everyone? My name's Josh Carney, but most of y'all probably already know me as Music Tech Help Guy, and welcome to our weekly live stream, our normally supposed to be on Friday weekly live stream, so I apologize for having to cancel and reschedule the stream last night at such a last minute there. I didn't really have a choice. The internet went down at about I don't know, it was about 5:30, and then it didn't come back on, and it didn't come back on until like 8 o'clock at night, so it wouldn't have mattered. So apologies for having to reschedule. If the setup looks a little different, it's because I'm using a DSLR now. The DSLR is set up on a stand over here. This is actually the opposite angle of where I normally shoot, which is over here, but I've just kind of flipped the screen. And so, you know, things look like this. So I think it's a pretty good look. And I think this camera looks way better. We'll see what it looks like in the restream. And also, how is the audio doing? Is it like out of sync with the camera, or is it mostly in sync? Because I seem to remember the last stream, like my voiceover was like, or my narration, whatever you want to call it, my dialogue was like a quarter of a second behind the video or something. And I've tested this, and I'm compensating for the latency. So let me know, let me know how that's looking. So yeah, normally if you're new here, if you're not new here, welcome back. If you're new here, we do these streams typically every Friday, or almost every Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. And we listen to your tracks, and I give constructive feedback on your tracks, both from a mix standpoint and also from a production standpoint. And I'll even try to chime in on the songwriting and composition as well. But just keep in mind, all of my feedback that I give you is only meant. It's meant to be constructive. It's meant to be constructive feedback. It's not meant to be. It's not meant to to insult you or anything like that. It's if I'm listening to your song and I'm thinking, okay, if this was my song, what would I do to it to improve it? So it's all about constructive feedback. It's not to put anyone down. And keep in mind, we're dealing with folks from all different parts of the world here, with different styles of music and different experiences and skill levels. So try to be mindful of that. So that's weird. It says that you guys are saying it's coming in grainy. Oh, well, yeah, it looks a little grainy on the restream, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. I did test the internet, and I'm almost getting a gigabit, but that's my download speed. My upload speed's only like 40. But we'll deal with it for now, and I'll watch the restream, or I'll watch the recorded stream later and see how it turns out. Real quick, let's get the housekeeping done. If you didn't already know, these streams are sponsored by Boombox. They are, they've been very, actually, they've been a long-term sponsor on the channel for a couple of years now, and as some of you guys know, we've sort of stopped doing sponsorships on tutorials and only sponsoring the streams. Boombox is an incredible platform, all-in-one platform, where you can upload your tracks, you can collaborate with others, you can send your tracks to other people, to collaborators, bandmates, clients, where they can post their own feedback on your track. And the feedback can be audio feedback, like they can record a voice note, or they can type it in. It's all time-stamped. And they also have distribution now. So after you go through multiple revisions on a project and get it, whittle it down to the final version, you can then submit your track for distribution to all of the major streaming platforms. If you want to sign up for Boombox, and the way you can get your track to me is to sign up for Boombox. Whoops, that is not what I wanted to do. There we go. If you want to sign up for a Boombox account, you can do that here. And this is also the same link. I'll post it in the chat. This is where you can upload your track for review. Just keep in mind that the link each week changes. So if you upload to last week's link, your track isn't gonna be heard. You have to upload your track to that week's link, and I post that on the community section of my YouTube channel, usually on like Wednesday of each week, sometimes like Thursday. Someone's asking, I submitted yesterday, do I have to resubmit? No, if you submitted yesterday, it's there, as long as you use the correct link. And if you want to get in on a pro or premium plan, you can use my affiliate link right here. This gets you some additional features that you don't get in the free plan, and you'll get 30% off for your first year. Okay, so let's jump into the listening, and let's go ahead and just actually, let's refresh the page. Oh, no. Don't do this to me. Woo. Oh. For a second there, I thought I had no internet again. All right. So I always listen to these in the order that they are submitted. The sooner you get your track uploaded, the more likely it will be that I am able to get to your track. So let's not waste any more time. Let's give these a listen. Let's start off with Tashad Noor. Second Chance. Tashad says, this is a brand new song. Working on mix and arrangement, going for a kind of fragile vocal style with some emotional vibe to it. Any feedback is welcome. Thanks for listening. Awesome. Let's give it a listen.
Every time I look behind the mask, I find myself with fear that leave no hope. Still a voice is strong enough to carry. I feel secure. A second chance to show you. 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 Sometimes I can't look down behind a mask. These wrestle things, such mighty things. I feel a power that can make me care. I understand. A second chance to show you. A second chance to show you. A second chance to carry. A second chance. Still the voice is strong enough to carry. I feel secure. I understand. And the power that can make me feel. I feel secure. I understand. I feel secure. I feel secure.
Cool. You know, Tashad always brings us bangers every week. And this time he's brought us a banger slow jam. No, I really love the track. I think it's a fantastic track. I agree with everyone's sentiment. It's like a great sort of alternative to like modern pop. You know, I would much rather listen to something like this than most of what is on the radio. That's for sure. Just a few like sort of mixed things. Nothing really compositional. I really like the vibe of it. I love the beat to it. I love like that 90s sort of vibe to the beat, you know? And of course I'm a sucker for ambience, so I love that kind of stuff too. But just a few, you know, minor things really. I would pull up all of the backing vocals. There's these little backing vocal harmony accents here and there. I'd pull those way up. Maybe add a little more top end to the lead vocal and the backing vocals just to make them pop out a little bit more. I really like this transition break here. I'll play it again just for so we can hear it here.
Chance to show you.
It's really cool. I like that it just stops and then comes back in. But I feel like there needs to be some sort of like a swell or something. Some of you just take a noise crash and reverse it and throw that on there. Shh. And then right on that where it cuts out, maybe a little reverb or like a little sound effect, like shong, and then, you know, the beat comes back in. Just something to fill the space a little bit, so it doesn't seem, you know, too jarring. An optional thing, you might think about like dialing back the stereo effects on the vocal a little bit. They sound great in stereo, but in mono, they're getting collapsed down a bit. They're getting a little lost. I don't know how you would fix that. You'd probably have to go into those plugins and kind of dial back the stereo settings a little bit, but it's an optional thing. I actually really like the stereo effects on the vocals, the way they sound in stereo. And then just in general, either pull up the lead vocal a touch or maybe add a little more top end to the lead vocal, and maybe bring down the guitars a little bit, either or, you know, or both. So, but otherwise, great track. Well produced. I like the writing. I like the vocal style. Always good work, Tashad. All right, let's move on to High Energy by George HZ, or as I like to say, George Hertz. Let's see here. Hey Josh, hope you're doing well. I composed this upbeat track. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, particularly regarding the arrangement and mastering. Just the mastering, not the mix. I'll comment on the mixing and mastering. Be brutally honest. Okay, I'll be brutally honest. I don't know which genre this fits into, and I'm never sure if the volume is too low. Yeah. Cool. Let's give this a listen. High Energy by George HZ. Some people are saying I was lost. Am I back? Let's see. Let me check the restream. I'm back. Yeah, maybe I got dropped out for a second. Sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm scrubbing through the restream, and it looks like everything's there. So hopefully, if there was a section that was lost, it'll get added to the recorded stream. Okay, so I'm back. I'm back now, hopefully. So let's go back. Let's listen to High Energy by George. Yeah, couple of things. I think right here there's like a filter sweep that doesn't quite make sense to me. Really, if you're going to do that sort of a filter sweep, I would save it for this part right here. Yeah, so say save it for the next 4 bars. Also needs an ending. So yeah, a few things like, you know, I don't think we're quite at the, you know, if you want to be brutally honest, if you want to be brutally honest, I don't think we can even talk about mixing and mastering yet, because I think that the song itself needs work. I think that the main issue for me is that the guitar and the piano elements are not working well together to me. They sound like they're playing 2 different chords, or there's some like bitonality going on, and sometimes the bitonality can work, but here to me it's not working. The guitar and the guitar chords seem like they're almost clashing. Like, I bet if you simplified the piano part, made sure that the piano part was playing the same notes or in the same key as the guitar, that you'd have maybe make the guitar a more present element and pull back the piano chords, but also go into the piano chords and strip out the notes that are dissonant and not matching the key of the guitar. I think you'll have a much better time in general. And then the other thing is like the beat is good. The beat is fine, but I think the chords and bass, like the harmonic movement, needs to go somewhere. It's all kind of on the same tonic. You know what I mean? You're like, no, 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 no. You know what I mean? Dude, it's all kind of like the same chord, and you need to maybe move to another chord. You know, if you're in a minor key, I like to go to the 3 chord sometimes, or I'll go to the 6 chord. You can do like an inverted chord progression where you're doing like, 2, 4, 5, 1. Or if you're in a major key, you can go to the 6 chord as well. So there's like the harmonic direction needs to go somewhere else, just to change it up a bit. It's like, I say this all the time in the streams is, when you listen to like a track, like a modern track of really any genre, a lot of times the verse and the chorus will have sort of the same tonic note, like the same chord that's used, that's sort of hovered on. But then when you move to like the pre-chorus, it goes to like the 6 chord or the 3 chord. The harmony shifts to a different chord, and that is what creates a sense of like direction, and it also creates a sense of different sections, and it can drive the movement of the song forward. So I would say before even thinking about mixing and mastering, you got to figure out what's going on in that in the piano and guitar, and then maybe think about going in a different harmonic direction for a different section, just to break up the monotony of it sounding like the same thing. Okay, let's go to. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 songs here from Eton and Studio Composer. So just keep in mind that if you upload more than 1 track, there's a good chance I won't get to all of them. If it's a slow day, I'll try to get to like 2 of them. It does look like Studio Composer's tracks are pretty short though. So let me see if I can get through like maybe 2 or 3 of these. And Eton, I can try to get through 2 of yours, but I don't want to do that at the expense of not getting to others. Okay, so let's check out Little Girl from Studio Composer. Wow. Great. I mean, look, the sort of lyrical writing is beautiful. I know the studio composer emailed me about this in advance. I can't remember your name, studio composer offhand. But what he told me was that he had no formal training in composition and orchestral writing other than he played, trumpet in high school or something like that. So great work. I mean, if you have no formal training, that's like fantastic. That's fantastic regardless. Great work on using orchestral VSTs here. Like, they sound fairly believable. The one thing I would say is, like, in sections like this, when I let's just listen to that again, where like the dynamic drops, a real orchestra in a real theater, when they drop down, the reverb tail is going to carry over into the next section a little bit, and it kind of dovetails the louder section into the softer section. So I would definitely add some, like, concert hall reverb to help, not only just help with the transitions and the dynamics, but it'll also kind of help the instrument sound a little bit more real. So I'll say definitely add some concert hall reverb to help with the transitions in the and dynamics, and also just to make the VSTs sound a little more realistic. And then just like overall, like, fantastic lyrical writing. And by lyrical, I mean melodic. It's a like, some of you guys probably know this, but I studied, orchestral and band writing when I was in college. I studied with David Gillingham, who's a pretty famous wind band composer. Learned a lot about arrangement from him. And then I also studied with Jose Luis Martua, really great orchestral conductor and composer, and learned a ton from him. Rest in peace. And so, there was a time in my life where I was writing stuff like this, but I've got to say, as someone who was formally trained in this, like, your stuff is really good. Listen to another one here. Something ominous in the basement. And I'll pull up the volume a little bit too. Yeah, I mean, once again, great work. I mean, this one's a little more sparse. This one sounds a lot like a, like a music cue in like a film or something. You know what? Let's go ahead. They're only a minute long, so let's give a listen to all these. This is Trumpet Under the Moon. I may need to pull down the volume because I cranked the volume for that last one. Let me go ahead and do that. And there we go. Okay. Let's give this one a listen. Trumpet Under the Moon. Cool. I mean, really, I love that like opening run, that opening melody. It doesn't go where I expect it to go. That's why I like it. It's like that's great. That's really great. I mean, one would just minor thing is I would prefer maybe like a clarinet or something here as like the secondary melodies. Just because clarinet's a little softer, and I think the way the trumpet is playing like really softly, I think the sax, like the tone of the sax maybe sounds a little harsh. You could even maybe substitute a instead of like it's probably alto or tenor sax, but instead of alto or tenor, like soprano sax might work. You don't have to change it though. There are certainly like alto and tenor players who can play super soft, almost like a clarinet, but they're hard to come by. They have to be like really good players. To me, saxes can be a little harsh. You'd be surprised how like loud and harsh it can be. But if you got the right player, they can pull it off for sure. For me, I personally prefer like clarinet or soprano sax, something a little softer for that second melody. And since these are so short, let's go ahead and listen to. This is why it's Mansure. I can't even say that word. Okay. Studio composer, I'm going to skip this one, and I know that almost no one's going to be able to hear it on the stream. So I'm going to skip this one. Maybe give me something that's a little louder, and I'll listen to it in the next stream. But overall, really great like melodic writing, really great lyrical writing. Like the fact that you told me you don't have any the fact that you don't have any like formal training in this is crazy, because you obviously have a great ear for this. So keep doing this. I mean, you could have a future in, film scoring or orchestral scoring. And all of these look like they're like film cues, they're one little short 1-2 minute pieces. So good stuff. Good stuff. Let's move on to Winner by Planets. And hey, we're a new London-based music duo called Planets. Charlotte and I formed mid-2024, and Winner is our third release. Thank you so much. Let's give it a listen. Let me make sure that my volume is not cranked as well, so I don't blow out the stream. Okay, here we go.
Hold on, got a lot to say to you. Always falling behind, losing my mind, choosing the times I can rely on you. I hold my life in the palm of my hand. I don't need no shoulder to cry on. Broken promises. others pass me by. All I want is always further, I can't understand. See who's watching over me. I see your face, I read the eyes. I know I'll find a way that's meant for me. But who's to say, and who's to know? Your words are under my skin and talk before my innocence. Time away when it all is said and done. Can we find the answer in a question I keep running from? Another page in a book you'll never read. I don't need no laurels to lie on. Some stars you'll never see. I gather my thoughts in the dead of night, counting all the times others pass me by. All I want is always further, I can't understand. See who's watching over me. I see your face, I read the eyes. I know I'll find a way that's meant for me. But who's to say, and who's to know? Your words are under my skin and talk before my innocence. If these dreams won't let me be, all I want is to be free. Will I have some time for me if I'm a sinner? If I'm a sinner. If I could sail into the sea and watch the birds fly over me and turn the waves into a stream, then I'm a winner. 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 I'm a winner.
Yeah, I mean, great, great vocal work, fantastic vocal work. I love the big. I mean, just from the way when it kicks in, there's just these huge vocals.
Hold on. Got
Yeah, I mean,
to
you had me just from Hold On, you know. I love the writing, I love the arrangement, the playing's good, the singing's fantastic. The one thing that's getting me is there's something weird about the guitar, like the rhythm guitar. It's like in some spots, it's like real bright and like in your face and full. But then other spots, I don't know, for some reason, it feels like you've got the mids rolled out or something. You know what I mean? Like it reminds me of what I did on like my first record, one of my first things I ever recorded. And I scooped the mids so much in the guitar part that it just had no body to it, you know. There's something off about the rhythm guitar, and I'm not 100% sure what it is. When I switch back and forth between mono and stereo, I'm not hearing much stereo variation in the guitar, so the guitar to me seems kind of center in the mix. I kind of would like to hear the guitars more on the sides. Of course, that creates other mono compatibility issues sometimes, which is why I very frequently tell people here to maybe do left and right rhythms, pan them out pretty far to get that nice big guitar sound. But then for mono compatibility, record a third part in the center really low in the mix. And that can make up for the mono compatibility issues when the left and right channels are summed down to mono. If you're playing in a club or in on a small, you know, Bluetooth speaker or whatever, there's something off with the guitar though. I think other than that, like, the rest of the mix sounds good. I mean, maybe a little more punchiness, a little more punch in the kick drum, you know, since it's like heavy rock. But other than that, like everything else sounds great to me. The vocals sound fantastic. If you guys watch this, like hit me up. I'd love to maybe I'm always looking for singers, you know, to have featured on some of my pop tracks. So if you guys are interested in featuring on something, hit me up. Hit me up sometime. I mean, cool, great stuff, fantastic vocals. Let's go to You and I. You and I by Crinkle Cut. I wrote this for my wife. She loved it. This is the first time anyone has ever heard it other than her. Okay, let's give it a listen.
I was empty before you, but all that changed when I felt your touch. You filled my half-hearted look at life. It never mattered this much. I know the odds were against it. I know to find you was miraculous. Maybe fate, maybe destiny. The stars collided and we became us. And you and I believe in love. And you and I will make it together. We'll make the best, forsake the worst. I swear that I will put you first forever. Across the desert in my heart, I didn't know there was a sea. I never knew about the river of hope flowing deep inside of me. When you take me in your arms, everything's in harmony. There's nothing more.
All right, sorry to stop it. So, you know, I like the writing. I like the melody and everything. I would just like for this section here, before like the main part of the song kicks in, I would almost turn the vocal tuning off. Like I almost feel like even if you're a little pitchy, it might actually contribute to the emotion of the song. You know what I mean? Like a stripped down performance. And I would like for this intro section here, I think there's a spot here where you go up to the high notes.
Maybe destiny. The stars collided and we became us. And you.
Right there. When you jump up to the high note, maybe that's where you can bring in a little of the vocal tuning and a little more of the reverb. Not a lot, but this whole intro section right here, I would cut the reverb down to almost nothing, and I'd cut your vocal tuning down to almost nothing. And then, so let me just make that note. So this intro section, cut the reverb and vocal tuning down to almost nothing. And then once the high notes kick in here, bring in some of the vocal tuning and a little more reverb. And then when the song really kicks in, when we get over here, this is where you can go to, whatever level of vocal tuning and reverb you want. Because I just feel like it would sound so much better if it was really, like, it sounds like a really stripped down performance. And I almost want it to be a little more, stripped down, Crinkle Cut, you said the singer I hired did the tuning. I'll have to get the untuned versions. I wonder if I'm wondering if they used Melodyne or if they used Auto-Tune. The Melodyne, there's a way to do it where you can almost not tell that it was tuned. You're just, you're gently shifting the tuning of a note up or down, but you're not playing with the vibrato of the note. I think they call it the pitch modulation in Melodyne. If you want to tell your singer, like, hey, tune it up, but don't mess with the pitch modulation. Keep the pitch modulation at 100%. I think you'll have a better time. And then what you can kind of do is you can straighten out the vibratos. So if like the pitch starts on point and then kind of goes flat, you can pull that up. So yeah, there's a way to do it. And I think there's a way to do it where it sounds pretty transparent. But like, yeah, I like the song. I really like the song, and I like the performance. I'm going to start from here, and I won't interrupt it again.
Us collided and we became us, and you and I believe in love, and you and I will make it together. We'll make the best, forsake the worst. I swear that I will put you first forever. Across the desert in my heart, I didn't know there was a sea. I never knew about the river of hope flowing deep inside of me. When you take me in your arms, everything's in harmony. There's nothing more than I could ever want. You are the precious part of me, and you and I believe in love, and you and I will make it together. We'll make.
So I'm sorry. I know I said I wasn't going to interrupt it. So it's a song called "In You and I," and you've got this really nice, soaring, beautiful vocal melody here. It almost feels like this is a point where you could bring in a female vocalist. Yeah, I know you wrote it for your wife. I don't know if she sings or not, but just in the context of the song, you could have a female vocal up an octave or up some harmony there, you know. In you and I, you know what I mean? I think it would push the song forward and also add a whole other dimension to it. So just something to think about. Even if you don't have a female vocalist do it, you could have, you know, maybe the vocalist do some falsetto layers just to kind of, you know, make the vocal a little thicker and bigger there.
You are the precious part of me, and you and I believe in love, and you and I.
And you and I believe in love. You know, just up in that range, you know, I think it would be really great. Even if it's not a lead vocal, if it's just meant to be like a secondary vocal, I think it would be really cool there. I mean, even maybe multiple voices too.
We'll make it together. We'll make the best, forsake the worst. I swear that I will put you first forever. I know there's no absolutes. Change is with us forever. But every time that I see your smile, I know nothing could be better. I was empty before you, but all that changed when I felt your touch. And you and I felt me and it means so much.
Yes. Well, first and foremost, beautiful writing, really, really beautiful writing. And, you know, you can kind of forget what I said about the octave here because the octave is here in the final chorus. So that's totally fine. That makes total sense. Something's weird, like right here. There's like...
Now I'll never be empty. You have felt me and it means so much.
Like I can hear the edit where the vocal drops out and like like I hear like background noise and then the background noise cuts out. I almost wonder if you like whatever saturation you're using or, you know, preamp setting or something that's used on the vocal, if there's a way to dial that back, or, you know, even if you use like, you know, like a denoise plugin or something to get rid of that hiss in those exposed sections, I think that'll help a lot. So I'll just say there's some noticeable hiss in the vocal recording that drops out, and you can hear the edit. So yeah, a lot of comments there, but like overall, the writing is really good. I think it's a beautiful song. Just some, you know, some mix things I would do differently, you know, just to kind of make the emotion, like make the mix sort of, you know, match the emotion of the song. Uh-oh, I think I lost my camera. Uh-oh. Let's see. Hang on one moment. I think I lost the camera. It doesn't mean I'll still be able to do the stream, but I think my camera cut out. 1 second. Okay. Yeah, I think my camera cut out. Yeah, you broke me. Yeah, I'm just going to pull out the capture device. We'll just do this without a camera. So one of the things I was worried about, one of the other things I wanted to test today is to see how long this camera's battery can go without it cutting out. And I found out, not very long. So we'll just do the rest of the stream without a camera. It's not a big deal. Still the same feedback. Audio's still there. Let's see. Oh, is my camera working now? It is? Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, it's fine if the camera doesn't work. I figured the battery would at least last like a couple of hours, but apparently not. So let's just get back to the listening. Okay, Crinkle Cut, great stuff. So Eton, I am going to listen to one of these. I'm sorry I don't have time for all of them. If we have some time at the end, I'll listen to one more. But feel free to upload them for future streams. So Eton, Melted Love, final for now. Well, okay, final mix for now. Yeah, I mean, you know, the vibe and kind of groove to it is like a 9 out of 10. The sort of, I guess, the musical direction of it, the harmonic direction of it, is like a 3 out of 10. So, and it's like, I like the texture, I like the tone, I like the groove to it, but I almost feel like the song needs to kind of pivot into another direction at some point, to another section, you know? Again, it was like I was saying to a previous on a previous song, it's like it kind of rides on the same harmony or the same implied chord, you know, but it doesn't move anywhere else. You know what I mean? Like you've got these breaks, and the breaks are good, but it needs to like harmonically move to a new chord or something. Or really, to me, I feel like a bass line needs to come in somewhere. You know what I mean? And the bass line will really like establish where you are harmonically. You know, the root of the chord is typically what the bass is playing. So that's my main gripe with it. The you know, the actual vibe of it is really nice. So, and also, yeah, I was able to get the camera back up. I always have a backup battery. Apparently, these batteries only last an hour, not even an hour. Oh, there will be vocals on it. Okay. So that makes a little more sense. If there's going to be vocals on it, Eton, that makes a little more sense. That the vocals themselves can give it a little more harmonic direction. But you may want to think about adding another section, like a bridge or like a pre-chorus or something, just to kind of drive the harmony somewhere else. Let's go ahead and listen to one more of yours. Let's go to if Eton, if I have to listen to, if I can get to just one of these other three, which one should I listen to? Let me know in the chat, and I'll listen to it next. So for now, I'm going to move on to Velvet Itch's track. But Eton, let me know which one of these three, Molten Darkness, New Lo-Fi, or Fallen, which of those three you want me to listen to, and I'll listen to it next. All right, let's check out Velvet Itch, The Abyss instrumental track. Let's give this a listen. Yeah, beautiful writing. You know, the just a couple little things that I would do. The first is like I really love the strings and keys throughout this whole section. The strings sound a little like bitey to my ear. I would maybe either try a different string patch or try to dial back the brightness or the intensity on the strings. A lot of string VST, I'm not sure what string VST you're using, but a lot of string instruments, like I use a lot of the UVI strings, and they all have like a velocity response curve. And when you crank up the velocity response curve, more of the tones are going to be that of a loud velocity, so really bright in your face. Whereas if you dial back the velocity response curve, a lot of times it'll go down, like you're going to hear more lower velocities, and so you'll hear like a darker, more subdued tone. So I would maybe play around with the velocity on the strings to make them a little less bright, or see if there's a setting in that string patch that lets you dial back the brightness on the strings. Sorry, I'm like, I'm still, it's been like over 2 weeks, and I'm still coughing, and my throat hurts from being sick from 2 weeks ago. I still have like this residual sickness. Anyway, I would also lay on a little bit more like concert hall type of reverb for the strings, just to make them sound a little more realistic and just kind of blend in the VSTs. And then basically my last thing is like, do you have a vocal in mind for this? Because I think it would really take well if you had a nice soft, vocal for this. I love this sort of like oversaturated, slightly distorted piano sound. But just beware that a lot of people don't like that. They'll hear a distorted piano and they'll be like, you know? So just keep that in mind. I like the sort of lo-fi distorted piano sound. But most people who are like piano purists, they want their piano to be super clean. Like to the point where in mixes I've done for clients, I've had to take the piano out of the stack it was in, the instrumental stack it was in, and have it like, I've even had to take piano parts and have them not run through the main stereo output master bus, just so it doesn't hit any saturation, while the rest of the track does hit that same saturation. So, but great writing. Would love to hear a vocal on it. Let's see. Did Eton says listen to lo-fi. Okay, Eton, we will listen to lo-fi. So new lo-fi, no vocals. So this is going to have vocals as well, I'm assuming. Let's give this a listen. I can see the level comes up later here, but I'd pull the level up on these keys. Yeah, I mean, really beautiful writing. I really like it. I really like it. It reminds me of the Chrono Cross video game soundtrack a lot. And it's funny because Coach says, I don't know if it's the ocean or not, but I definitely envision listening this next to a calm body of water. It's funny because that game takes place next to the ocean. Like a lot of it's on the water. It really reminds me of Chrono Cross. It's like the sequel to Chrono Trigger. It's a video game for PS1. Most of you guys probably never played a PS1. No, really beautiful writing. I would just play with some more reverb. I think a lot of the sound design choices really want reverb, and it sounds a little dry to me. And then you said you're going to put vocal. It says no vox, so I'm assuming you're going to put vocals on this. So yeah, really beautiful writing. Pull up those keys in the beginning. Someone was saying like the level's a little low. That's totally fine if it's not mastered yet. I learned how to actually compensate for volume here in OBS, so I can pull it up a little bit. I'm gonna do the quickest of breaks, like a 2-minute break, literally 2-minute break. I need to go get some more water, otherwise I'm gonna be coughing up a storm. I'm fairly certain me and my wife got the bird flu back in at the end of January, and I'm still recovering from it. So I will be back in literally 2 minutes or less. Don't leave. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Oh my God, guys. I am like literally the clumsiest person alive. I have to be. I have to be the clumsiest person alive. I like literally dropped my water bottle out there with the cap off, spilled water everywhere. Like I'm good for mix revisions and production advice, but you do not want me to be your you do not want me to be your surgeon or your electrician or your plumber because I would completely mess it up. Okay, let's jump back in. Let's go to where were we? We listened to Velvet Itch. Weird Music. Weird Music's Gray, just a one-man band playing everything in the bedroom, still learning how to mix. Appreciate you, my friend. Awesome. Let's give it a listen, Weird Music. Yeah, I mean, look, it's got 7/8 or 7/4, whichever way you want to count it. The beginning kind of reminds me of God, what's that song? I can see you, the dawn of running in the sun. You got your head back, glasses on. I can't remember the lyrics. What's the name of that song? What's the name of the song I'm singing? The intro of that kind of reminds me of that. Don't worry about changing it either. It's not like, you know, you're not plagiarizing anything. It's 3 notes, and you're also in 7/4, and that song's in 4/4. No, I really like it. The Boys of Summer, yeah, that's it. Thanks, Coach. Boys of Summer. Don Henley, yep, yeah. The intro reminds me of that, but don't worry about it. It's not going to be a copyright issue or a plagiarism issue or anything like that. The couple of things I would do. One, I'd love to hear a vocal on this. I mean, 7/8 or 7/4 can be really cool with vocals if you phrase things right. It's just tough to write lyrics and write rhythm, like vocal melodies too. The main thing I would do is when that big like guitar comes in, the rhythm guitar, I would double that and then pan it left and right, and that's going to get the guitars off to the sides and leave the center open for the drums and maybe vocals. The solo section, I would definitely bring up the solo a bit and bring down the rhythm guitars there, because your solo playing is really good. And it's not like, you know, one of my pet peeves with guitar playing, new rock and new guitar playing these days, is sometimes it's just overly produced and it doesn't sound like a real guitar anymore, because every single note is like perfectly locked into time. Like, I like your guitar playing because it's a little bit raw, you know what I mean? It's a little more raw. And I like that. I really like that. So good work, Weird Music. Let's move on to the next one. Let's move to, we are here at Pierre Shepard, Legal Bank Job. Let's give this a listen. Yeah, I love the track. Just like I love the writing, I love the vibe of it, I love the playing. The mix is actually mostly spot on. I think you just have like a little bit of like one little mix change and then one like mastering change. So the mix change is there, there's a lot of stuff filling the sonic space. There's a lot of rhythm guitars and stuff like that. And I love all that. I'm a guitar player, so I love having my guitars up in the mix. One little trick I've done in the past when I get to like the mastering stage and like the vocals seem like they're competing with the rest of the mix, but I really don't want to pull down the guitars. What I'll do is I'll put all of the rhythm guitars in a track stack or an aux track or a bus, whatever you want to call it, and I'll throw a compressor on the guitar bus, and then I'll sidechain input the vocal track. And I set the ratio to a really low setting and the threshold to a pretty low setting. So you see that every time the singer sings, the gain reduction meter comes down like 1 dB, almost nothing. It's barely perceptible, but it just lets the vocal come through a little bit. You know what I mean? Every time the vocal sings or the singer sings, the guitar track gets ducked just ever so slightly. And do like a slow release and slow attack so it's not like so jarring. I basically do the same thing in this stream, but in real time, but the opposite way. Like every time the music plays, this microphone gets ducked down so that you don't hear a bunch of background noise or me coughing or breathing or whatever in the background. It's kind of the same concept, but done in reverse. So that's like a slight little mix change I would make. The main change I would make is more of a mastering thing. I feel like there's too much mid-range energy and not enough like fundamental bass. You don't have to do it with this plugin, but a plugin that I use for pretty much when I master any song is called Gulfos from Sound Theory. It's a really expensive auto EQ plugin. It's like $200, so it may or may not be worth it to you to buy it. But one of the magical things about Gulfos is it's got a equal loudness curve setting, and what that does is it will take the mid range and do this, and then pull up the top and bottom end, and then it like because the louder you master a track, the harder you're hitting the track with the limiter. The more you're going to have to boost up the lows and treble, and the less of the mid-range you're going to want to hear. So sometimes what will happen is you'll have a perfect mix, and then you send it off to a mastering engineer, and they master it. If you send it to a mastering engineer, they're going to do the loudness curve equalization for you. But if you have like what you think sounds like a great mix, and then you go to master it, and then all of a sudden the frequency balance seems a little off, it's mostly because you're adding a bunch of gain with the limiter, and that means that you've got to reduce the mid-range a little bit and bring up the highs and lows to compensate. Because the way our ears work is, there's this whole concept of an equal loudness principle, the equal loudness principle basically says that our ears hear the 1 to 5K range the most. So the louder something is, the more you're going to hear 1 to 5K, but the less you're going to hear the air and the treble and the bass. And so the louder something is mastering, you have to sort of dial back the mid-range and boost the low and high range. And so I think that this is a super simple thing that could be fixed in mastering, just to have a little bit less of that mid-range and a little more bottom end, and maybe even a little bit more treble. So the Blues Rockers, the link only let me set up account. If you click on that link and sign up for account, there's like a little option at the bottom to click sign in. It'll let you sign in, then you can drag and drop your file in. You don't have to pay for an account to do this. You can sign up for it's completely 100% free. So if you're just uploading now, there's probably a good chance I won't get to it today. So maybe try for the next stream. Cool. Let's go to, let's see, where are we? We've got weird music. We had weird Pierre. Let's go to Mark Appan, Orbit. This track is intentionally busy. I've got so much going on in the track, and I'm having trouble making some elements come in clear. I used the binaural panning. I'm also having trouble with Logic ending the track where I set the project marker on some of my tracks, and this is one. I'll show you, even before I even play the track, here, I'll show you how the easiest way to set your left and right bounce, range in Logic. So if you've got a track, let's say you've got a, let me just pull in like a loop or something. So let's say your song starts here and then ends, I don't know, we'll say here, right? Let's just repeat that. Okay, so let's say that's the length of your track. The best thing you can do, I mean, you can drag the song end point right here. You can drag that around, and that'll affect your bounce range. But if you're just doing a quick demo bounce, you can just drag over everything in your mix, or just hit Command A, and then hit Command U, and that'll set the cycle range around everything in your project. Sometimes you may want to go to the end and maybe give it a little bit more of a little more, just a little more room at the end. You may want to give a little bit room at the beginning. But then when you hit Command B to go bounce, the start and end point of the bounce will be the same as the cycle range. So that's how I do it. That's how you can manage your bounce range. But let's go ahead and give this a listen.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Yeah, I mean, that's really cool. I like all the the space quotes and sound effects and all in there. It's it's definitely busy, but as you said, it's intentionally busy. The main thing really is just the drums need to come up in the mix. Like I like the balance of all the synth ideas and the other sound design you've got going on. It sounds good. I like all the ideas. I also like sci-fi things and space things. So the main thing is like the drums, especially like the kick and snare, need to come up because it almost seems like your drums and your beat is like secondary to everything else. Like think of let's see. Think of, I'll play an example here. Think of the Prodigy's I don't condone the name of the song, but Smack My Bitch Up. Because it's got this like breakbeat thing to it, but it doesn't like the groove isn't driving for like the drums are out front, right? And Prodigy, please don't copyright strike me. Let me jump forward a little bit here. Like the vocal or the drums there are like way out front, and I think that's maybe something to do. You know, that's something you may want to consider with your track is just like get the drum beat and the loop way out front, and get that kick drum, punching through everything else. You know, that's my main criticism here is just make sure everything is really make sure the drums are really forward so that the rhythm of the song is sort of driven forward. Okay. Oh yeah, Firestarter. Yeah, that's actually the song. That's actually the song I meant to play. But yeah, basically the same beat. You know, it's like a break beat kind of thing. So okay, let's move to Ukrainian Love by Teimo. Let's give it a listen. cool. I mean, I like the beat. I like the instrumental. I like the bass line too. But the vocal sample to me seems like it was like you were trying to rip a vocal sample from something, or maybe you recorded the vocal sample, and it's for me the vocal sample's just not working because of it. It sounds like there's like a denoise filter on it, and it sounds like it's underwater. There's got to be a better way to isolate that vocal sample. I don't know what the source material for it was. I mean, with the song name being Ukrainian Love, I imagine it's, something deep and meaningful, or the source is deep and meaningful to the song. But yeah, you've got to find a better way to isolate that vocal sample if you're going to do that. For me, I mean, Boombox has this, a split to stems function. Although what I will say is Logic Pro's stem splitter is pretty damn good, all things considered. I mean, you don't necessarily have to spend a lot of money, but you can also do something like, you can use a service like lalal.ai to try to isolate that vocal a little bit better. Because it's just not, I think like the beat's there, the bass line's there, but it's sort of missing, the impact is lost because the vocal sample just doesn't sound great. So definitely number one priority, find a way to make that vocal sample sound better, or find a better way to rip it or isolate it. You wouldn't want to, the blues rockers, you wouldn't want to use Boombox to record. I mean, technically you can use it to like record voice notes, but you're not going to want to use it for anything other than that. The other thing I would do is like, without a lead vocal, especially toward the end here, the instrumental gets a little bit samey. It gets a little bit repetitive. So I don't know if you plan on putting a full lead vocal on this. What you could do is you could put a full lead vocal on this and then find a slightly better way to get that vocal sample isolated and maybe add some reverb to it to make it more of a background element. I think that would work. And then, like in the break here, I would definitely pull up the synth here to kind of bring out, that break. But again, who knows what you're going to put in here? Maybe there's a lead vocal that's going to go in there. And the vocal sample, man, when you play it alone, it sounds worse. So yeah, definitely like number one priority, figure out how to get that vocal sample cleaner. Okay, so let's move to, let's see, what time is it? 7:44. Okay, I will try to listen to 3 or 4 more of these. So I'll probably get down to Sir Trine. And everyone else, I'm sorry if I didn't get to you today, upload for the next stream, and I will try to get to it. So A Bit of Hope by Mansure Salman. A Bit of Hope.
Ready, boy, slow it down just a little bit. slow it down just a little bit.
Now the moon hides her face, the stars lost their charm. As I wander through the darkness, searching for some warmth, but your love still lingers in the depths of my soul. A bittersweet reminder, little bit of hope. Now the moon hides her face, the stars lost their charm. As I wander through the darkness, searching for some warmth, but your love still lingers in the depths of my soul. A bittersweet reminder, little bit of.
You said I'm ready, boy. You said I'm ready, boy. Slow it down just a little bit. Slow it down just a little bit.
Now the moon hides her face, the stars lost their charm. As I wander through the darkness, searching for some warmth, but your love still lingers in the depths of my soul. A bittersweet reminder, little bit of hope. Now the moon hides her face, the stars lost their charm. As I wander through the darkness, searching for some warmth, but your love still lingers in the depths of my soul. A bittersweet reminder, little bit of. The nothingness is something you're not seeing. A bittersweet reminder, little bit of.
Slow it down just a little bit. Slow it down just a little bit. You said I'm ready, boy. You said I'm ready, boy. Slow it down just a little bit. Slow it down just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, great melody, like great melodic writing. You said I'm ready, boy. Like that's a great melody. A couple little like weird things for me. There's like this guitar like loop, and it almost sounds like it's denoised, like it's had a denoiser on it to get rid of like hiss or something, because I can really hear the artifacting on it. Not sure if it's a loop or a sample, but is it possible if you can re-record it in a better space that doesn't have so much noise, or two, can you just dial back the denoising? And then the lead vocal too almost sounds like there's like some denoising on it. I'm not really sure what's going on there, because the vocal tone is great, the performance sounds great, but it sounds like the vocals denoised a little bit too. So I'm not sure what's going on there. And then the secondary vocal, like I think it's like the female vocal, it's like got a completely different vibe to it than the lead vocal. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I almost feel like it needs to be a little more center and a little drier, just so it can fit with the main vocal a little bit better. So, but otherwise, I really like the melodic writing. Don't get me wrong. So, just a few little like denoising things. When I can hear artifacting, because like a denoise artifacting, it's usually like my ear just immediately just hears that. So. Okay, let's jump to Extreme Powers, Feel. Just a one man playing all instruments except for the incredible Logic drummer. Piano's out of tune, guitar not acoustic guitar out of tune, just messy. I'm here to learn more about mixing. Guitars are Squier, cheap from the 1990s. Bass is also cheap from the 90s. This tune starts one way and finishes another. All right, let's give it a listen. Yeah, I mean, look, I really like the musical arrangement. I love the soloing. The soloing is really good. It's a shame it's buried in the mix. Just a couple little things. I mean, the intro, the melodic idea, do 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 do. That reminds me of the Parasite Eve video game from the late 90s. Again, another old PS1 game. It's a compliment. No need to change anything. It's not a copyright issue. Definitely bring up the leads throughout the whole song, the lead parts and the solo. The soloing is really giving me like John Petrucci, like early John Petrucci type vibes. And if you know who John Petrucci is, that is a massive compliment. And thanks, Mark, for the $4 tip there. I appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, just that needs to come up. Maybe the rhythm guitars need to be a little wider just to make some more space in the center for the lead. Like you may not even need to pull the lead up as much if you give the rhythm guitars a little more space. And then toward the end, especially during the soloistic parts, the drummer's maybe a little too busy. I would dial back like the complexity on drummer and just let the basic groove come through. You don't need all the extra kick hits. You don't need all the extra ghost notes there. Let the guitar sort of be the main instrument there, because I think the drums are a little too busy toward the end. Good work. Let's move on. We're going to listen to two more. So we got Feel by Extreme. We're going to listen to Jonathan Davenport's, oh God, Booty Hole. Okay. And then we're going to listen to Sir Traline's Sweetheart Grip. Everyone else, I apologize, we won't get to it today, but get it in by the next stream. And just so everyone knows, let me pull up my calendar. Next week we will have, so the next week is the 21st. I have family in town on the 21st, so there won't be a stream next week, but there will be a stream on the 28th. So if you didn't get heard today, I'll get the link up as soon as I can, probably like on the 24th or 25th, and you can upload your track for the 28th. All right, so here we go. Jonathan Davenport, please don't make me regret this. Booty Hole. Here we go.
It's Mr. Nasty Time. It's Mr. Nasty Time. Can't wait to blow your mind. Can't wait to blow your mind.
Baby, where are you?
I can't believe she tried it, and damn, I think I like it. I am. I don't know what to say, because this make me gay. Ain't gotta worry about no kids. I can live You can keep that head. I'll take that ass instead. This may hurt a little, depending on what you can take. So baby, bite this pillow. Hope you have a high tolerance for pain. But if you can't, I'll go slow, cause girl, we ain't no quitters. Long as you stay, I'll be strong. I'm trying to touch your liver. Girl, don't stop. We're halfway, almost there.
I'm being trolled, right? Like, this is a troll song, right? This is not a serious song. Sorry, Jonathan. This cannot be a serious song. Like, either this is one, you're trolling me, or two, this is parody. If it's parody, fine. It can be parody. It can be comical. You know, it's like a sweet, like R&B, you know, baby making track, but about, never mind. We're not going to listen to this. I'm sorry, Jonathan. It's not very tasteful. Let's go to Sweetheart Grip by Sir Traline, and let's make sure we ride this thing out into the sunset here. Yeah, I mean, the main thing here is it just seems like too repetitive. It's kind of like the same thing and over and over again. It's got this minimalistic drum part. Like I was waiting for the drums to kick in somewhere and really like bring in a full drum pattern, you know? Like to me, that little sparse drum part is, you know, something that only needs to be in like the first minute of the song, like maybe the first verse, right? And then when you get to the first chorus or the second verse, that's where you need to bring in like a drum fill. You know, something like that. Something like bring in a full beat somewhere and kick in those drums. That's one, you know, difference you can make to kind of break up the monotony. There's like a electric guitar part in the background that just sounds like all fuzz to me. You know, if you're using like a fuzz box effect, if you're using like fuzz rather than distortion, it can sometimes be a little bit jarring. So I'd dial back that distortion a little bit, fuzz a little bit. And I think you need some other sections in here. You need some, you know, and I say this all the time, you need a contrasting section that moves to a different chord or moves to a different harmony and just kind of redirects the song in a different position and then builds back up into a chorus. Because right now it all seems like one section to me, you know, and without a vocal, it makes it even more apparent. And then the acoustic guitar, there's definitely a tuning issue in the acoustic guitar. You're either going to want to re-record that, or, you know, like if you really have to, open it up in Melodyne, if you have Melodyne, and fix the note. But it's probably going to be easier just to re-record the part and make sure that you're in tune. It sounds like one string is like out of tune and it's throwing off just certain chords more so than others. So, okay, I'm officially losing my voice and I've been trolled with the booty hole song. So let's see. I'm not even going to bother trying to pronounce that. Bombaclat Planets. Oh, you get another song, Planets. Sir Trine, you get a second song. PhD in Paradise. James K. Joe G. Please resubmit for the 28th when we do this again. The sooner you can get your track in, the more likely it is that it'll be listened to. I usually post the link to upload on Wednesdays, since we're going to go 2 weeks without a stream and we're going to do one on the 28th. Instead, I will try to get that link up as soon as the guys from Boombox send it over to me, which is usually Monday. So I'll try to get the link up on Monday or Tuesday at the latest. So as always, guys, thanks a bunch for showing up and putting up with all my technical issues and my internet issues. I think this went pretty well with the new camera. I got to find a way to get this camera to go a full 2 hours without needing a charge. Have a safe, wonderful Saturday night. I will see you all in 2 weeks. Hopefully I'll have a couple of tutorials for next week as well. I've just been, as you can see, I'm drinking water all day long and I'm coughing all day long. And so I get like headaches and my voice just, my voice gets worn out after a couple of hours of talking. So still kind of recovering from this thing. Never thought in a million years it would take this long to recover from the flu, but here I am. All right, guys, take it easy. I will see you all in 2 weeks. And thanks for watching.